Welcome in Week 4 Simulation Football League action here in District of Columbia, where the DC Dragons are set to take on the Charleston Predators. Interesting season so far in their first comeback season for DC, starting out 0-3, averaging 14 points a game. Charleston, on the other hand, 2-1, averaging 26 points a game. Last week, DC went to overtime against Mexico City, losing 34-31. Charleston squeaks out a close win last week against Sioux Falls, 19-13. I am Stephen Hacker alongside Robert Garrett Jr. Down in the stats truck is Greg Soto and Mark Lopez. Back in SFL headquarters, producer Cameron Irvine. And Robert Garrett now is going to break down the keys to this game. Robert?
Yeah, I think the keys to the game for DC is really just follow up on what they did last week playing against Mexico City. They had a very productive game, only losing by 3 points in overtime. They got to come out with that passion they had last week. And Charleston, they got to keep TD Drew healthy, for one. I know they won the game last week with their backup quarterback in, but TD Drew is the leader of this offense, and without him, they might struggle.
DC wearing the all-teal uniforms today, Charleston wearing the all-white. Very, very interested in how this game is going to shake out. Both of these teams will like to use their running backs. Both favor the run, and they're going to back that up, try to play good defense. Charleston set to kick this ball away to start off the first half. Ball is on the tee. Amanda Moyer checks down the line, and kick is away. Nice kick, fielded 2 yards in the DC end zone. Kay Marion's going to field this one and bring it out to the DC 20-yard line. And that's going to... Go ahead, Robert.
I was going to say, we got the chance to call DC's game last week against Mexico City, and if they come out again today and use Shabazz synergy like they did last week, I think their offense has a very good chance of getting down the field here, but they got to start off strong in this game.
Synergy under center, strong I formation, back to throw. Say out of the backfield with room to run. Upfield, spins and makes the defender miss. And he's going to get 13 yards on the reception and a good first play for the Dragon.
Yeah, that was a great first call of the game for DC. Got them a first down, and it gets Synergy and Kevin Say both involved. Two very key parts of the offense for DC.
1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Trips to the left for Synergy. Say the lone back. Press coverage by Charleston. Synergy recognizes it and now changing the play. 2 safeties deep for the Predators. Synergy with the quick drop throws to the right side. It's Say with the reception and a 4-yard gain to go along with it.
Yeah, that swing pass to the right, that's the second time they've gone to it in this game. That time didn't work out quite as well, but what they're seeing so far is Charleston is showing a lot of weight on the strong side of the field. And so when Say is sneaking out to the right, there's no defender there with him and able to get a few yards.
Synergy on second down, throws a slant route over the middle, caught for a first down. And that was Kingston Ellington with the reception.
DC is starting out super productive. Shabazz Synergy moving the ball downfield, finding his open receivers, but also making sure not to hold on to the ball for too long. I'm curious if we're going to continue to see the Dragons go with this quick passing attack.
DC only needed 3 plays to get to midfield. This time a handoff to Kevin Say left side. Nothing doing as he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Let's introduce the offense, Robert. Let's get to the offense really quick. Shabazz Synergy, running backs Kevin Say and Shug Targaryen. They have wide receivers Jeff Banfield, Kingston Ellington, Josh Gill, Kay Marion, and tight ends Dennis Sagili and Ziggy Hronic. From midfield, 2nd and 10. Synergy under center, 3 wide receivers. Quick drop, swing pass to Say, right side is caught and dropped for a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, I was going to say on that last play, the defensive front 7 for Charleston is the strongest part of their defense. And, if the offensive line for DC cannot get a push, the run game's not going to be very successful there, as we saw on that previous play. And then a quick 1-yard out for the running back. Now a third and long for DC.
First third down of the game for DC. Play action fake, and it's going to be a deep throw down the left side. K. Marion was the intended target, and the pass is going to get knocked away by Butch Minner.
And Corey Minner sitting there ready to defend for that football, able to knock it down and force a fourth down for the Dragons. So what started out as a pretty strong drive by DC sputters out. Now they got to punt the ball away to Charleston.
Snap is a little to the right, able to corral it and punt it towards the end zone, fielded at the 10-yard line, brought out to the 16-yard line, and that's where we're going to get to see Charleston and their offense.
Yeah, I think that Charleston's going to come out here and show us a heavy dose of Keith Swearingen, kind of their main player on offense that they try to move the ball through quite a bit. We're going to see here if they decide to do it again.
Swearingen comes into this game fourth in carries with 76 and sixth in yards with 332, averaging 4.4 yards a carry. Under center, Drew, play action fake to Swearingen and checks down. Swearingen with the reception, tries to make a move and ends up losing 2 yards.
Yeah, they didn't like how that play turned out. They want to get back to the line quickly and see if TD Drew sees a spot in the coverage he likes to pick on.
No play action this time. Swearingen out to the left side, able to make the reception, but loses another 2 yards, and Charleston's going the wrong way here on their opening possession.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the hurry-up is the answer here. They've gone backwards in back-to-back plays. I don't know what they're trying to do.
Drew under pressure and sacked. Very impressive opening drive for the Dragons defense.
Yeah, you know, Charleston coming out super slow on their first drive, just moves backwards play after play. That is not the way they want to play this game. They're going to have to quickly punt after a 3-and-out, and DC is going to get the ball in what should be very good field position for the Dragons.
From his own end zone, punt is away. Marion with the fair catch at the Charleston 37-yard line. So plus territory starting for the Dragons here. Shabazz Synergy and this DC Dragons offense getting their second chance here. And on the defensive side for Charleston, we have defensive ends Dick Baker and Jeff Hollywood, defensive tackle Joseph Sabolka, linebackers Jack Hoffman, Jack Brown, and Tommy Zanardi. Cornerbacks Johnny Bravo, Corey Minner, safeties Josh Zachary Bates, and Zach Legg. In the shotgun, Shabazz Synergy back to throw, fires deep to the right side. Corner route's going to be picked off at the Charleston 21-yard line, and that stops DC's drive right there in its place. Johnny Bravo has the pick.
Yeah, DC and Shabazz Synergy had the matchup of Johnny Bravo and K. Marion, and just tried to throw that a little. I don't know that I would have chose that throw personally if I was Synergy. Threw it into double coverage. Bravo comes up with the interception, and DC, who was pretty much already in field goal range, not quite, misses out on points.
Good job by the Predators defense, keeping the Dragons away from scoring points. Drew with the quick drop back, throws over the middle, almost picked off. Risk throw into good coverage. Kanye Rockefeller there to knock away.
And who else but the veteran Kanye Rockefeller to step up and try and pick off that ball. Unable to come up with it, but on that play got his 90th pass deflection in his career. So just been all over the field the whole time he's played.
Charleston's offense is led by TD Drew, running back Keith Swearingen, wide receivers Ken McCarro and Buchanan Simons, along with tight ends Lyric Da Vinci and Jay Taylor. From the 21-yard line, Drew deep drop, checks down to Swearingen, tries to spin upfield, and Exodus O'Brien with the tackle for loss.
Yeah, Swearingen tries to spin out of the pressure and get upfield, but I think that was the wrong move on him. Should have continued to advance the ball towards the sideline, and he may have had some green grass to move downfield.
Now a 3rd and 13. Drew back to throw. Fires underneath. Pass is caught, but well short of the first down, and that's going to bring up a punting situation for the Predators.
Yeah, Charleston, again, just not able to get anything going on offense. DC's defense has really stepped up so far in this game. And, I mean, really, you could say that about either team. The defense has played lights out so far in this first quarter. And DC is going to get the ball again, probably right around the 50-yard line.
Punter on their own 9-yard line. Pressure was brought, but able to get the punt away. Returner fields it just past midfield, gets out to the DC 45-yard line.
And Shabazz Synergy's got to come out now and play focused. Can't force another turnover there. They got to get down the field and put up points on the board. Charleston doesn't give up very many points, only allowing 21 per game. So DC's got to take the points where they can get them.
9th play for the Dragons is a handoff to Kevin Say up the middle for 5 yards.
And Kevin Say played well off of his blockers there, was able to find an opening and bounces it back to the inside to gain 5 before being taken down.
He has had pretty good field position to start this game, just over halfway through this quarter, and they seem to be hanging out around plus territory near midfield all game long. Synergy post down the middle is caught to the Charleston 34-yard line, and a nice reception made across the middle by Jeff Banfield.
A great catch by Jeff Banfield, just able to find an opening in the zone that Charleston was running. The safety just a little bit too deep to try and come up and make a play. Ends up making the tackle, but DC moving down the field.
And this home crowd is loving it. Even the players on the sideline are pumped. Synergy in under center. Handoff to Kevin Say. Nice patience as he gets upfield and gains 5.
Yeah, Kevin Say looked like he might have gotten stopped at the line of scrimmage, but able to sneak his way out of the tackles and move the ball downfield for a gain of 5.
Going to be an I formation for the Dragons. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the left for Synergy. Pressure brought, and it forces a bad throw down the left side. Diving play tried to be made, but the Predators were bringing the heat, and Synergy just got rid of it.
Yeah, Synergy was looking for Josh Gill on that play all the way, but Jeff Hollywood able to get his way into the backfield and make some contact with Synergy, so the ball wasn't quite on cue, and now facing a 3rd down.
Weak eye, 3 wide receiver set. Synergy with the deep drop, fires down the middle, weak coverage, and that's a touchdown for DC as Josh Gill is able to get another add to his touchdown total on the season.
Yeah, Synergy was not able to find Josh Gill on that previous throw, but takes a deep drop, and right as he got to the end of the drop, releases that ball to his receiver. Josh Gill beats the defenders and makes his way into the end zone. A touchdown for the Dragons, and they're up early.
Yeah, nice 29-yard touchdown pass there. Able to get behind the defense, and just a great throw by Synergy. A 5-play, 61-yard drive. Extra point. Kicker is out. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is up and good. Now 7-0. 4:31 remaining in this first quarter.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that Charleston's offense was on the sideline trying to figure things out. TD Drew is 4 for 5, throwing 80% completion percentage, but only 1 yard. Most of his passes have been for negative yards, the only positive going to Jay Taylor.
And make sure you visit the all-new SFL League website at www.simulationfl.net for info on how to create a player, on how to join our community, and the league and the teams that play in it. Also links to apparel, helmets, and a comprehensive history of the SFL. It's over 1,400 games, and it's thousands of players who have hit the virtual field. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Charleston's going to take over from their own 29-yard line. TD Drew in the shotgun, twins to the right. We'll get to this DC defense just after this play. Drew back to throw. Out route is caught. Ken McCarl with the 5-yard gain before he runs out of bounds.
And TD Drew finds his open receiver running an out route towards the sideline, quickly gets the ball out there, an easy throw for him to make, and a quick 5-yard gain for their offense. Interesting enough, though, Steven, they have not handed the ball off to Keith Swearingen so far in this game.
A lot of rookies on this DC Dragons defense. Exodus O'Brien and John Gary are the defensive ends. Benny Butcher, the defensive tackle. Clint Hendershot, Riley Cuse, and Casey Husky's the linebacker. There's the carry by Swearingen, but it goes nowhere on 2nd and 5, sets up a 3rd and 5.
Yeah, it was a good time to hand the ball off to Swearingen, but Benny Butcher able to shed his block and take Swearingen down at the line of scrimmage.
Cornerbacks John DeSantis, David Leathers, Eric Gugger, and safeties Kanye Rockefeller and Jack Russell round out this Dragons defense. Drew under center alone, takes a shot down the middle, pass is caught. Buchanan Simons has a first down to the DC 39-yard line.
Yeah, Buchanan Simons has really been the deep ball threat for the Charleston Predators through this first few games of the season, averaging 18.8 yards per reception, 4th most in the Simulation Football League.
Yeah, and those big plays are leading to touchdowns with 3 touchdowns. That's good for 3rd in the SFL, so they're dialing up his number, and he's taking full advantage of it. Just over 3 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. A lot of movement from the Dragons defense. Drew trying to change something up. Swearingen alone in the backfield. Quick drop. TD Drew fires to the right side. Buchanan Simons able to catch the out route, but stumbles out of bounds for a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, and it seemed like TD Drew maybe threw that ball a little too much of a bullet pass there for Simons. Able to come up with the reception, but lucky enough to get his foot down before he went out of bounds on the sideline.
Twins to the right for Drew. Swearingen gets the handoff, takes it to the left side, and maybe only 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, and you know, with that play, Swearingen looked like he had some room to run up the middle, but decides to try and bounce it to the outside when he reached the 2nd level. The linebackers for DC were able to get to him and take him down.
Drew with only 1 incompletion to this point. Good for about 40 yards up until this point. 3rd down, Swearingen gets a handoff, has the spin and carry a defender, but is able to get the first down. Nice second effort made by the running back Keith Swearingen.
And what an absolute show of power there by Keith Swearingen. Just kept getting hit and just kept shrugging them off. Able to fight ahead for a first down for his offense and keep them on the field.
It's like a 3-4 defense from the Dragons. TD Drew back to throw. Pressure coming from the left side. Up in the air. Pass is caught down to the DC 6-yard line. Ken McCarroll makes a huge athletic play for the Predators.
And that play looked almost identical to the touchdown play thrown by the DC Dragons. You almost got to wonder if maybe Charleston was watching and seen what they liked, added it to their playbook in the spot.
Predators now inside the SFL red zone. Handoff Swearingen up the middle, changes direction, shifts outside, and able to get 2 yards on the carry down to this 4-yard line.
And at the beginning part of this first quarter, Swearingen had not really gotten the ball, but they've been giving them the ball here, and it's been working for Charleston. Swearingen able to find openings, and even when there's not one, able to kind of force one by breaking out of tackles.
Charleston trying to spread out the Dragons, but they're not biting. Everybody's staying in the box. Swing past Swearingen, left side, room to run, up the field, and touchdown for Charleston. A 2-yard reception, and that's going to put the Predators down 1 pending the extra point. Going to tie the game pending the extra point. Sorry, Robert.
It's interesting, and it's so far in this season, coming into the game, Keith Swearingen, 10 receptions for 9 yards. Hadn't really been getting the ball thrown to him out of the backfield, but they opt for the swing pass there, and it worked out for their offense. I actually thought TD Drew was going to throw the ball to Ken McCarroll, who was wide open in the middle of the end zone.
Moyer on to attempt the extra point. Straight on approach from the kicker. 1 minute remaining here in the first quarter. Snap is good, hold is good, kick is up and good. Tie ball game here in DC. Charleston caps off the 9-play, 71-yard drive with the 4-yard touchdown pass to Keith Swearingen.
Yeah, and you think that the Dragons are probably shaking their head. Had the chance to still have a lead, but threw that interception when they had really good field position. So that one may come back to bite them later on as this game goes. But their offense is getting the ball back here and needs to capitalize.
K. Marion from 2 yards in her own end zone returns this one to the DC 21-yard line. These teams are about even in takeaways this season, Robert. Charleston's got 7 coming into the game, and DC with 6 coming into the game. DC with a -1 turnover differential, and Charleston is even right now at 0. Synergy going to be under center, 1 wide receiver split out to the left. And it's going to be a handoff to Say, who's going to get maybe 1 yard on the play, and a nice tackle made by Jack Brown.
Yeah, and we're talking about different team statistics and things like that. Another interesting one to throw at you. DC Dragons with Kevin Say have been averaging 71 yards per game, while Charleston's defense has only been giving up 71 yards per game. So it seems like a match made in heaven between the rush game and the rushing defense. You got to wonder who's going to come out on the victorious side of that one.
8 in the box for Charleston. Synergy gets rid of it quickly out to the right side, and Say has the first down out to the DC 34-yard line.
Yeah, and they haven't really needed to dial up on the run game so far this season. Been getting the ball to Kevin Say, who coming into this game had 37 receptions, second in the league.
Yeah, high percentage passing for Synergy. He's completing 70% of his passes this season. So they're relying on Say out of the backfield to help keep this young offense moving. And we're going to reach the end of the first quarter with the score tied here in DC, 7-7. And Robert, what are you looking forward to here in the second quarter coming up?
I'm just looking forward to seeing these offenses getting going. Neither of them really playing at the top notch so far in this game. Maybe a sign that the defenses came to play today, but I'm interested to see which offense can step up.
Synergy pump fakes, has a receiver there left side, turns upfield, and gets the first down almost to midfield, and that's Jeff Banfield able to secure the reception.
And that was a great job by Jeff Banfield. I thought he was going to run out of bounds after getting that corner route, but able to plant his foot just inside of the sideline and cut up for another couple yards, move the ball downfield for their offense, and they're now set up at their own 49-yard line, and once again, almost in Charleston territory.
Looked like the same formation but flipped. Synergy throws, looks like the exact same play. This time it's K. Marion going to move the chains down to the Charleston 40-yard line.
K. Marion gets her first reception of the game, and it's a pretty important one for the DC Dragons offense to keep moving down the field. Gets another first down, and they're now already at the Charleston 40.
Twins to the left for Synergy. Handoff left side stretch play is going to get stopped immediately in the backfield.
Yeah, and that's just a play that you can't have. Joseph Sabolka, the anchor of the defensive line for Charleston, able to get into the backfield before the stretch play can become anything, and that was a big loss for DC.
Forced to be reckoned with, hanging out in the top 10 of tackles for losses this season. Synergy back to throw. Slant route over the middle, was looking for K. Marion. Pass falls incomplete, but there is a penalty flag down on the field.
Yeah, I think this might be defensive pass interference. Marion had her arm outstretched and tried to make a reception, but the defense just kind of got in the way there. And that's really just an unfortunate one for Charleston to take.
Yeah, and the linebacker, drew the penalty flag out there trying to cover a receiver, a little bit of an athletic disadvantage. And did whatever they could to try to stop the play from happening. And unfortunately, a penalty flag comes out. It's going to result in a first down for DC. Now down to the Charleston 35-yard line. DC looking to capitalize on the fresh set of downs. Synergy back to throw, out route to the right side is caught before running out of bounds, and that's Josh Gill.
Yeah, and I think so far DC's been playing it pretty smart on offense. I know they had that one turnover to start the game, but really been running a lot of quick outs, a lot of things over the middle that can develop quickly, and they can get their receivers open without getting Synergy any kind of pressure in the backfield.
Synergy 10 of 13 to this point. 2nd and 5. Weak eye formation. Synergy checks down to the left as Say is going to plow forward on the reception for the first down to the Charleston 23-yard line.
Keith Swearingen was showing a bunch of power the last time he got to run the ball. And Kevin Say showing a little bit of his own there, able to blow through the corner and fight ahead for a first down before the tackle was finished.
Four wide receiver spread. Kevin Say gets to carry up the middle, drags a couple of defenders before he gains 8 yards.
Yeah, these running backs came to play so far. A good 8-yard gain by Kevin Say. And DC's offense is continuing to really just move the ball down the field.
Now inside the SFL red zone, we'll see if DC can capitalize on their good field position. Wide receivers out there for Synergy. Deep drop, pressure's coming, sets up, fires left side, pass is going to be tipped away, almost intercepted. Had the receiver Josh Gill there in the end zone, and Corey Minner steps up and knocks it away.
And Corey Minner, after batting the ball down, waves his arms saying, no way, that ball's not getting caught over me. But you got to wonder if that's one he wishes he had back, because that was a wide open interception. And, 3rd and 2, DC still has a little bit of room.
See what they go with on a 3rd and 2. Handoff to Kevin Say. Met at the line of scrimmage. A good stand by the Charleston Predators front 7. Jack Brown was in there to help make the play.
Yeah, and that play there is really a shout out to the defensive line of Charleston. Just absolutely stuffed the offensive line for the Dragons, and they really couldn't do anything to help Kevin Say there.
DC may be going for this one here. They come out on 4th down from the Charleston 15-yard line. Charleston's in a 3-3-5 defense here, but I don't think Synergy's going to snap the ball. And he doesn't. He calls a timeout as the play clock was just about to expire.
Yeah, and I wonder if DC wanted to get out there and see what kind of defense they were facing, what they thought they could do. I thought maybe they were going to try and run some kind of stretch play to the left side of the field, where most of the defenders were covering towards the right. If Kevin Say would have had enough burst of speed to gain that 2 yards, but also a smart move by DC to go ahead and take the points while they have the chance.
Yeah, your defense is playing very well to this point. I think you take the points, you take the lead, and live to fight another down. Hope that your defense can come out and make a big stop and give your offense another opportunity. This is going to be about a 21-yard field goal attempt. Snap is in, hold is good, kick is no good. Wide to the right, it looks. And very, very unfortunate for DC. It looked like almost a chip shot. And Wilson doesn't collect points for his team, Robert.
Yeah, and that's just another tough miscue for the DC Dragons when they are in scoring range. Now, first the interception and now a missed field goal. Charleston set up well. A big thing with Charleston's offense is TD Drew may not throw the ball much, 47 of 72 so far on the season, but his receivers total averaged 11.8 yards per reception, so deep ball threat by the whole team.
And TD Drew now with the ball throws to Lyric Da Vinci over the middle, and they get a 7-yard gain on first down.
And TD Drew going to the ever-reliable Lyric Da Vinci, as you said, over the middle. Just a big-bodied tight end that can do a little bit of everything for this offense.
TD Drew, 10 of 11. 72 yards here today. It's a check down to Keith Swearingen on the left side. Breaks 2 tackles and spins upfield. Gets down to the Charleston 40-yard line before Kanye Rockefeller is able to make the tackle.
And, through every area of somebody's football career, they emphasize tackle with your head up. You got to be able to see where the ball carrier's going. And on that play, Riley Coos, a little bit of rookie nerves, takes a dive towards Swearingen, lowers their head, and ends up not making the tackle. Swearingen moving the ball down the field.
Twins to the left for Drew. Quick drop, throws over the middle for Lyric Da Vinci. The pass is going to be deflected and tipped away. Good defense there by the Dragons.
Yeah, the linebacker able to step up in front of Lyric Da Vinci and knock the ball out of his hands before he could come up with the catch. And, of course, it's linebacker Clint Hendershot to deflect the ball.
Yeah, and really tried to squeeze that in a tight window between 2 linebackers. A tough call or tough catch for any tight end, really. But when Clint Hendershot's there to make the hit, makes that play exponentially harder. So now a 2nd and 10. Buchanan Simons to the top of the screen. Ken McCarroll to the bottom. Drew throws to the right side. That's Jay Taylor, who's got the first down to the DC 45-yard line.
Yeah, DC's defense really gave quite a bit of a pillow for the receiving threats of this Charleston offense, lining up a little bit deep, but really heavy on the line of scrimmage. It works out well for Charleston as they're able to get Jay Taylor on an out route pretty much wide open.
Now on the other side of the 50. 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Swearingen, the single back offset to the left. Drew under center, hands off to Swearingen, breaks a tackle, and drags a defender for a 5-yard gain.
Swearingen running with a purpose, able to just continue and drag these DC Dragons down the field and fight ahead for more yards.
Single back, Twins. Drew with the quick drop, time to throw. Over the middle, pass is caught. Short of the first down, it's going to set up a 3rd and 1. Ken McCarroll with the reception, and the Predators are going to hurry into the no huddle. Handoff, Swearingen up the middle, met immediately in the backfield, called a loss of 1. And Clint Hendershot, everybody was there to help make the play for the Dragons.
Yeah, I think the DC's defense knew that it was 3rd and 2. Charleston didn't have to do a whole lot to get that first down, and why not go with Keith Swearingen there? So the Dragons swarm the offensive line, are able to break through and take him down before he gets ahead of steam. Good 4th down force by the Dragons.
Charleston 2 for 5 on the day on 3rd down. 5 first downs gained. As the punt bounces into the end zone, had a chance to stop it near the goal line, but it's going to result in a touchback.
Yeah, and Kay Marion playing it smart there. Saw that the ball was going to end up coming down right around the 2-yard line. Knew that there wasn't really a chance to get to return that ball. So instead retreats into the back of the end zone and lets the ball take a bounce.
Synergy will take over. 3 wide receivers. Kevin Say gets the handoff up the middle and stopped at the line of scrimmage.
And Kevin Say really was facing pressure that whole way. The defensive line for Charleston absolutely dominated and really ran over the offensive line there. Say thought he might be able to squeeze through, but the linebackers come up and make a good tackle.
Three wide receivers split out to the right for Synergy. 3-step drop, and pass is caught. Kay Marion has to spin around, falls down in the process of making the reception for an 8-yard gain.
And Charleston's defenses really seem to step it up on this drive, not giving up a whole lot as they have on previous drives. But Kay Marion able to get a quick out route. Unfortunately, Synergy underthrows the ball a little bit, so she's got to spin around and come back. But now a 3rd and short for the Dragons. And I think they should go with the swing pass here, Stephen.
something safe, secure, and it can definitely net you the yards that you need. Kevin Say gets the handoff and a hole up the middle as he explodes down to the DC 39-yard line.
Yeah, Joseph Sabolka blew through the offensive line once again, but it didn't matter to Kevin Say. Runs right by him and moves the ball ahead for a first down. A great play by the rookie.
Moving closer to midfield. 3 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Both teams with all 3 timeouts. Charleston in a dime 3-2-6. Synergy with a quick drop finds Kevin Say in the flats to the left for a 3-yard gain.
And, they keep going back to that swing pass. Like we said, we thought it was going to come one play prior on that 3rd and short, but gets it there and gain a quick gain of 3 yards.
Sure-handed rookie out of the backfield for the Dragons, 5 for 5 as far as receiving goes today. Expecting to see a heavy load as DC loves their feature back. Kevin Say right side, breaks a tackle, past midfield, down to the 30, and he's out of bounds at the Charleston 31. Huge explosive play by Kevin Say.
Yeah, and really a great decision at the end of the play there by Kevin Say. Saw that there were too many defenders coming at him, and he wasn't really going to get the ball downfield any farther. Instead of taking an unnecessary hit, takes the ball out of bounds.
Two and a half minutes remaining, Roberts, and DC is just all game has been methodically moving down the field. They had the missed field goal last drive, but DC has looked really good so far this game, and you got to think with 2 minutes remaining that they're going to try to punch this one in for 6 points. Say up the middle gets nothing.
I certainly agree with what you're saying, but I think the big thing here for DC as well, they really got to let the clock tick. They're about to head into the 2-minute warning here, but even after that, they got 2 minutes to get down the field, and they really don't want the ball in Charleston's hand again before the half.
And we are at the 2-minute warning. We're the Simulation Football League here on For the Fans. Tie ball game right before the half. DC with possession of the ball, driving here at home. And it's a 2nd and 10. We'll see what Synergy and this Dragons offense want to do. Stephen Molinex, the offensive coordinator, has had a pretty good game this far. Out route called, and it's a 3-yard gain to the left side.
Yeah, just another quick route for the Dragons to keep moving down the field. Now facing a 3rd and 7. They got to play it smart here. They are within scoring range. I know they missed that last field goal, but they can't force anything here. They still want to take points.
Shotgun formation for the Dragon. DC out in a dime 3-2-6. They bring pressure from the edge. Synergy looks left side. Slant route is caught for the first down. Josh Gill moves the change for the Dragon.
Yeah, and that was a perfectly thrown ball by Synergy. Defenders behind Gill and in front of him, able to get the ball there to the receiver and get a first down. Now at the 16-yard line of Charleston, but they still got a minute and a half to go. They got to play it smart. They don't want to put it into the end zone too soon.
High snap, Synergy able to find it. Throws over the middle. 2 receivers were there and only covered by 1 defender, but it falls incomplete.
Yeah, and that was a tough miscue there for the Dragons. The ball intended for K. Marion, and one of the 2 tight ends, either say Geely or Hronic, kind of got in the way of the route there. They collided a little bit, and that's why the ball ended up not being caught. So now 2nd and 10 for the Dragons.
Inside the SFL red zone. 3-3-5 from Charleston. They bring pressure up the middle. Out routes caught as K. Marion falls down, making the reception. Gets down to the Charleston 9-yard line.
K. Marion on that out route has really been a go-to so far for DC, but Synergy having some trouble getting the ball there, just a little underthrown every time. See if they work on that as the game continues.
Single back, bunch to the left, out route bottom side of the screen, down to the 2-yard line. That was Ziggy Hronic was able to make the reception, and DC hurries back to the line of scrimmage. Synergy throws middle, caught, touchdown, DC. Josh Gill in the end zone again.
Josh Gill scores his second touchdown on the game. And, that was kind of a worrisome throw there by Synergy, the defender right up on Gill, but having faith in his receiver, and Gill comes up with it. A big-time touchdown for the Dragons to potentially take the lead into the half.
Wilson on for the extra point, had missed the 21-yard field goal attempt earlier in the ball game. Looking for some redemption here, and it starts with this extra point. Snap is good, hold is good, a little bit of pressure brought, but Wilson able to knock this one through and gives the Dragons a 7-point lead with 45 seconds remaining in the first half.
And DC's defense has been playing hot so far in this first half. We'll see if they can do it again here with 45 seconds left. TD Drew, known to throw quite a few interceptions, a little improved so far this season, only 7, but we're going to see here what they decide to come out and do and if DC can combat it.
And make sure you're keeping up with the SFL and its teams on social media at Simulationfl. Follow and subscribe to all the channels: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. From teams to podcasters, final scores to major highlights, the SFL Social has you covered. And like you said, Robert, this Charleston offense probably looking to get some kind of points here before the half, but if you're TD Drew, you have to protect the ball. You don't want to get careless. Decent starting field position from their own 30-yard line. Twins to the left for Drew. Simon's in the slot. Handoff to Swearingen, right side. Makes a nice spin move. 2 spin moves up the middle, and he's got room to run. Exodus O'Brannon's chasing, and David Leathers. Clint Hendershot trying to use the closing speed. And what a run by Keith Swearingen. Ties the game up, pending the extra point right before the half. Fantastic.
I mean, I don't think there's much else to say other than wow. Keith Swearingen looked like he was going to get taken down at the line of scrimmage. And then again, as he got a little farther down the field, but using those spin moves, gets away from the contact and keeps on moving the ball down the field. I touched on it before. I didn't think DC wanted to give the ball back to Charleston. They did, and now look what happened. The game is looking like it's going to get tied up, depending on this extra point.
Amanda Moyer, the kicker, on for the extra point. A 70-yard touchdown scamper by Keith Swearingen there. Moyer, straight on approach, kick is up and good. We got a tie ball game here in DC. 30 seconds remaining before the half. Robert, do you think DC comes out, tries to take a deep shot? They've got the 2 timeouts. It's been that kind of game. I mean, both offenses seem to be doing what they want. We could see some dynamite or some explosive action here before halftime.
Yeah, I think maybe they come out and try to take that deep post once again with Josh Gill. If they can't get it the first time, then maybe they just give the ball to Say and let the quarter run out. They don't want to put their defense in any precarious situations here, but with 23 seconds left, if they want to score, they got to do something crazy.
Kay Marion able to return that out to the DC 20-yard line. And let's get a look at what we got for Synergy on the day. 18 of 23 here in this first half, covering about 175 passing yards. Does have the interception, but 2 passing touchdowns gives DC the 14 points. 1 wide receiver out there, the handoff to Say, who's going to plow forward and get 2 yards. The clock's going to continue to run. And I think these teams may be happy just to go into the half with it a tie ball game.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing there. It was a safe call by DC. Didn't want any unfortunate turnovers. Gives the ball to Say, who's able to get ahead for 2-yard gain. And they're going to take one more snap.
Snapped the ball before the half. Didn't have to, but they throw the out route. Josh Gill going to make the reception for 9 yards. But that's going to take us into the half, Robert. I mean, you have any big first half notes that you want to hit on?
I mean, this first half has really been full of action on both sides of the ball. Shabazz Synergy playing lights out for the Dragons, 19 of 24, a 79% completion percentage. And TD Drew not too far behind him, 13 for 15. Unfortunately, really just hasn't gotten anything, crazy. Keith Swearingen doing most of the work as we know their offense to do.
Yeah, and both of these offense really running and through the air, going through their running backs. Just keep feeding them the ball, and good things are happening on both sides. Defensively, looking at Exodus O'Brien with his 2 tackles for a loss. Clint Hendershot got in there to make a play in the backfield. For Charleston, Joseph Sabolka got a nice play in the backfield. Jack Brown. So both of these teams seem to be bringing the pressure, but it'll be interesting in the second half which team is able to scheme against what the other team was doing in the first half, because it's an even ball game right now. The missed field goal for DC, that missing 3 points, that could be the difference going into the second half.
Absolutely, the one interception as well, as we touched on earlier. I think for Charleston, the big thing for them, they already have 1 interception, but they got to strengthen up their defensive backs just a little bit. As I said, Shabazz Synergy, 174 yards, really been dishing out the ball to his receiver as well.
Yeah, and I think from last week, calling the game for DC and Mexico City last week, I mean, you can kind of feel that the improvement is just there, that they're, the pieces are starting to come together for DC, and it's good to see them coming out and competing like this, really putting on a good show here.
The big thing, I think, if you're Charleston, Keith Swearingen is your leader in receptions with 4, but -3 yards total in the receptions. You got to find your receivers. Buchanan Simons, the deep threat down the field. If he can get a couple shots to him, this may be a whole different ballgame.
Just about ready to get the second half underway here in DC. Charleston set to receive to start the second half. DC again in the all-teal uniforms. Charleston wearing the all-whites with the blue helmet. Dulake going to return this one out to the Charleston 30-yard line. Difference of about 10 yards first half, Robert, in starting field position for these two teams. K. Marion having to return out of her end zone, getting it to about the 20 every time, and Dulake able to get the benefit of getting starting field position at the 30. So we'll see if Charleston is able to capitalize on that here in the second half. TD Drew comes out single back, and it's a handoff to Swearingen spinning upfield, and he's going to plow for 4.
Swearingen still running with power, but just a little bit slower, not quite able to break off as much contact. And, they come out and get a good gain of 4 to start the drive. DC's defense has got to play tight on Swearingen.
Under center from the 34-yard line. Swearingen back to throw, looks to the right side. Pass is going to be caught by Lyric Da Vinci, and he's going to work his way up to the Charleston 45-yard line.
Yeah, and TD Drew really had either tight end to choose from there, had Da Vinci and Taylor both in proximity of the ball, but Da Vinci, the one able to come up with the ball, gets a good first down for his offense.
3-4 defense for the Dragons. Swearingen offset to the right, stretch play to the right, met in the backfield immediately. And that's a nice play by the rookie Casey Husky.
Yeah, Casey Husky read that ball all the way and immediately went towards the edge of the offensive line to meet Swearingen there, able to stop him in the backfield for a loss of 1.
Negative yardage brings Charleston Predators out in a shotgun. Twins to the left, Swearingen sidecar left. Jay Taylor, Lyric Da Vinci on the right side. Handoff up the middle, draw play to Swearingen, loses 2 more yards. And Hendershot was in to help make the tackle along with Riley Cuse.
Yeah, and so far this first drive for Charleston is looking pretty identical to their first drive at the start of the game. Back-to-back plays where they're moving backwards. Let's see if they can get a positive gain here now on a 3rd and long.
Maybe look Buchanan Simons' way. 3-4 defense again from the Dragons. Drew with the quick drop and plenty of time to throw. Steps up. There it is. Big play down the left side. Jay Taylor's got the first down, and he's down at the DC 31-yard line.
Yeah, they actually decided to go to Jay Taylor, as you said. Buchanan Simons actually ran a route over the middle of the field, was still open, but wouldn't have been able to get the first down. A great choice and throw by TD Drew.
In the first half, Charleston was 1 for 5, so able to convert there. Now brings their total on the day 2 to 6. 6 first downs gained, so first downs gained in this ball game. With their 32nd play of this game, Drew with the quick drop throws the corner route left side to Buchanan Simons, well defended and knocked away by the Dragon.
Yeah, and it looked identical to the route that Jay Taylor ran the previous play, and DC's defense was ready for it. Kanye Rockefeller able to get up there and bat the ball down, keep it away from Buchanan Simons.
And that's a little bit of fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me right there. Learning from his mistakes, Rockefeller knocking that one away. Drew under center, empty backfield. Deep drop, fires over the middle, bunch of crossing routes, and Jay Taylor's not able to secure the pass. It looks like Clint Hendershot was the one that knocked it away.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that play if I'm Charleston. Had quite a few routes going over the middle of the field, and DC's defense was really all over it. Lucky that it didn't come up as an interception as that ball bounced around in the air.
Charleston is in positive field position here. On a 3rd and 10, you don't want to take a sack and put any extra pressure on your kicker, Amanda Moyer. You're hoping to get a first down here. Swearingen's the single back offset to the left. Drew under center, fake play action. And he's going to be sacked. 5-yard loss, the exact thing that Charleston didn't need to have happen, happened. And Riley Cuse is going to get credited with the sack.
Yeah, Riley Cuse comes right off the offensive tackle's block into the inside, and TD Drew really didn't have anywhere to go with that ball. So Cuse comes up with a big sack for their defense, and now Charleston has to trot out Amanda Moyer, who has a career long of about 46 yards, I believe.
And this is going to be about 52. Moyer straight on off the face mask of the special teams. And DC is going to come away with the blocked field goal. Man, Robert, that guy's got to have a migraine now.
Yeah, you don't see blocked field goals a lot in the SFL, and you really don't see one like that where the defensive line just blows up the blocking of that play and is able to get in front of Amanda Moyer where she was trying to kick the ball.
So each team's cancel each other out. DC missed pretty much a chip shot field goal earlier, and now DC blocks Amanda Moyer's field goal attempt, and it's still a tie ball game. DC is going to take over at their own 43-yard line. Play action fake for Synergy. Throws left side, pass is going to be caught. Josh Gill tiptoes, stays in bounds for 8 yards.
Yeah, and you got to think that there's a spark of excitement in the Dragons offense now. Their special teams comes up with a huge block to keep the game tied, and now they get the ball back at the Charleston 49 with a 2nd and short. They got a lot that they can do. Let's see what they decide.
Say is going to be the single back offset to the left. 2 wide receivers to the left for Synergy. Handoff up the middle. Say plows forward and gets the first down. Brought down at the 46-yard line of Charleston.
Kevin Say running really well today for the Dragons, averaging about 4.6 yards per carry. So on a short play like that, of course, they're going to try to give the ball to their running back and get the first down.
And Charleston backing off, playing way off the line of scrimmage, and I think that plays right into what DC wants to do. Maybe a swing pass here to Kevin Say, stretch play right side, as Say has room to run, gets 5 yards on the first down.
Yeah, and that was a great play by DC. Lined the receivers up mostly on the left side and ran that stretch play to the right. None of the defenders for Charleston were really in position to make a big stop. So just had to let him get as many yards as they could prevent. And ends up getting a gain of 5.
Now Charleston comes down into the box a little bit. Synergy going to hand off to Say, and nothing going. Sets up a 3rd and 5.
A good play by the defense of Charleston there. Tommy Zanardi, the one to get the tackle at the line of scrimmage. Kevin Say thought he had something going there, but Zanardi able to stop him.
Zanardi with a couple of tackles here in this ball game. Charleston has a 3-3-5 defense. synergy with 2 wide receivers to his right. Hand off to Say up the middle, tries to break it to the outside and gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Zachary Bates and Jack Hoffman there to help make the tackle.
Yeah, a little bit of a questionable play call there by the Dragons. Needed 5 yards to go, and Kevin Say hasn't really averaged that much. Tries to get the ball to their running back anyway and gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Now DC has to punt the ball away when they had a whole lot of momentum on their side to start the drive.
Punter was on his own 45-yard line. Nice punt. Does it die at the goal line? No. Oh, so close to being stopped at the goal line, but rolls in, and it's going to be a touchback. Charleston will get the ball at their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, the punt coverage team there of DC seemed to think that the ball was going to take a bounce in their favor and stay inside of the 5, but decided not to try and cover it, and it ends up rolling across the line.
TD Drew, 14-18 up to this point, 128 yards passing. Swearingen, 6 yards away from the century mark on the ground, gets the handoff. Ooh, left side, and he's going to get met in the backfield, 3-yard loss.
And that this defense for DC has been playing with their head on fire so far in this second half. Almost gave up a touchdown, but comes up with a huge stop. And again, taking Swearingen down in the backfield.
Drew under center, twins to the right, throws out of the backfield to Swearingen on a swing pass, who spins upfield and gets out to the 24-yard line.
Yeah, and they really let that swing pass develop to Swearingen there. TD Drew held on to the ball as long as he could to make sure his receiver had some separation and close to the sideline, able to get up to the Charleston 24.
Elsewhere in the SFL, Louisiana is at Atlanta with the lead 27-17, and Streeter, the running back for Louisiana, got hurt, as well as the wide receiver B.E. Robo. As we've got a big play here down the left side, Ken Maccaro able to secure the ball down at the DC 45-yard line.
Yeah, and we've talked about the fact that DC has a lot of rookies on this defense, and there Ken Maccaro able to get a beat on the defense, even gets behind Kanye Rockefeller, who ends up having to come back and make the tackle.
And you wonder if Drew was able to hit Maccaro in stride there, the result of that play would have been much different. Having to adjust and come back for the ball, I think, helped Rockefeller make the play. But into plus territory, Charleston goes. They're going to hand off a stretch play to the left side for Swearingen, initiates the contact, and plows forward for 6 yards.
Yeah, and that was a crazy play there by Keith Swearingen. Their offensive lineman, number 75, came on a pulling block to try and get ahead of Swearingen, and Swearingen blew right past his lead blocker, breaks through contact, and is able to get a gain of 6 yards before the play is called dead.
It'll be interesting to see how Louisiana, with a big lead, can play without Streeter and one of their wide receivers. As Swearingen gets a play to the left side, moves the chains down to the DC 35-yard line.
Swearingen kind of slow to get up. He's really been carrying the ball well for Charleston. You got to think maybe he's tiring just a little bit. Still got a lot of ball game to go there. They got to play this offense smart and make sure that Swearingen's not on the sideline.
8 in the box for DC. Handoff Swearingen goes nowhere. Met in the backfield. Nice play made. That's going to be the defensive lineman for DC, Benny Butcher.
Yeah, and Benny Butcher was really blocked really well by the offensive line of Charleston. At the last second, throws off his blocker and is able to tackle Ken Maccaro. Now a 2nd and long. DC's defense has been playing well. They got to keep it going.
Charleston spread out with their wide receivers and then looked to go with the draw play. And DC was waiting for it. Riley Cuse met Swearingen in the backfield.
Yeah, and it's really seemed to be the theme of this second half, especially. DC's defense has really dominated on 1st and 2nd down, but had a few miscues on 3rd down that's kept Charleston moving the ball downfield. Let's see what Charleston is able to come up with now on a 3rd and 14.
Ninth third down of the game, 50% to this point. 43rd play for this Charleston offense. It's a play action fake to Swearingen. Drew pump fakes and checks down to Swearingen. It's going to be tipped at the line. Not what you needed there on a 3rd and long.
And what a great play by the defensive end, John Gary. They're able to get his hand up, knew he wasn't going to get to Drew, so did the next best thing, sticks his hands up, and bats the ball into the ground.
We'll see the punt team come out for the Predators. Charleston's punter is on their own 45-yard line. We'll see if DC brings the pressure. They don't. They're going to send everybody back to help Kay Marion on her return. Marion calls the Peter, and everybody clears out, and it allows Charleston to fall on it at the 5-yard line. So tough starting field position now for the Dragons.
Yeah, and as you said, Marion cleared out the special teams unit, told him she wasn't going to take the ball out, and I think that was a bad mistake by the rookie there. Could have gotten the ball up to probably around the 15-yard line. Instead, they got to start their drive at the 5. And, Kevin Say's had a little bit of success running the ball, but, through the game, Charleston's also really had his number.
Dime 3-2-6. Synergy with a quick drop back and throws, fires the slant route, and it's going to be tipped away. Falls incomplete. Good coverage by the safety, Zach Lay, there.
Yeah, Zach Lay was out of place, not able to try and make an attempt on intercepting the ball, but sticks his arm out there and is able to make contact, bat it to the ground, and face another 2nd and 10, and even better yet, keep DC at their own 5-yard line.
Under center, Synergy. Josh Gill, the lone receiver out to the left. Say up the middle, gets the handoff, and runs into a whole pack of Predators there. Nothing going.
Kevin Say able to push ahead and get a gain of first down, a gain of 1. But as you said, Charleston's defensive line really swallowed him up and didn't let him get anywhere.
Spread offense for the Dragon. Quick drop by Synergy, throws the slant route over the middle. Pass is going to be caught, and Kay Marion moves the chains down to the DC 19-yard line.
Yeah, and when in doubt, you go with the all slants, don't you, Steven?
Very, very comfortable play. It seems to have a high conversion rate. And when you can spread everybody out like that, it forces the defense to work extra hard, especially when they're in a zone coverage as so. And DC did a good job of capitalizing, and I will credit that to offensive coordinator Stephen Mullinex, doing a great job layering that into his playbook. Still a spread formation, Synergy in the shotgun this time. Charleston brings 4 from the defensive line, another all slants, and it's Ziggy Hronik able to make the reception and gets the first down.
Yeah, Hronik been pretty quiet so far in this game, comes up with his 2nd reception there, and it's another first down for this DC Dragons offense, who has really worked really well together so far in this game. Unfortunately for them, had a few unfortunately timed turnovers, and again, that missed field goal that came up earlier.
And DC, I think, is liking the look. They're continuing to spread out their receivers. Draw play or a dive play goes for 1 as Jack Brown is able to make the tackle.
Yeah, this defense for Charleston can be extremely stingy. And as you said, I think the best way to attack them is to spread them out, make sure that you don't have a whole lot clogging up the middle, and that you can find an open receiver quick.
Gill, the lone receiver to the right. Synergy 3-step drop. Pressure's there. Hollywood's going to get the sack.
Yeah, and that's a huge stop for Charleston to come up with a sack there, forcing now a 3rd and 14. And, Hollywood only 6.5 sacks in his 3 seasons in the SFL, but comes up with a big one there.
And we've reached the end of the 3rd quarter. Tie ball game. 2 missed field goals, 1 from each team, has kept this game tight. 14-14, we are the Simulation Football League on Twitch. Going into this 4th quarter, Robert, we said it's going to be interesting to see who makes the adjustments in the second half. And I think we're 1 play away. It's going to be that 1 play that's going to decide this game for these teams. 3 wide receivers to the left for Synergy in the shotgun. And he completes the post down the middle to the DC 48-yard line. What a reception made by Kingston Ellington.
Yeah, and that post route's really been a thorn in the side of Charleston. Josh Gill comes up with a touchdown at the start of the game running it, and now a big play to Kingston Ellington, his first catch on the day.
Dragon out around midfield now. Gill, the one receiver. Charleston's in a nickel defense. Swing pass to Say on the right side, jukes the wrong way, steps out of bounds after a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, and I think Kevin Say had Zach Lay beat on that juke, but as you said, juked the wrong way, foot ends up going out of bounds and stops the play in its tracks.
37 yards receiving on 6 receptions for Say. Synergy back to throw out of the shotgun, fires left side, corner route's gonna be caught. Just mossed the defender there, and that's Jeff Banfield who gets down to the Charleston 24-yard line.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate play for Corey Minner, was all over that ball, but Jeff Banfield makes a big play, takes the ball out of his hands and moves it downfield. This DC Dragons offense continuing to march down the field as they have this whole game. And you know, Steven, they really do not feel like an 0-3 football team right now.
Definitely not. Definitely showing progression week to week, showing that they're able to stack things together and continue to improve. The ceiling is the roof here in DC as Say gets the carry up the middle for 6 yards.
And Kevin Say got a very key seal block there by offensive lineman number 74. Took out the linebacker on the inside that gave Say that extra room to move the ball ahead for 6 yards.
Just inside the SFL red zone, Kevin Say gets the handoff right side and sets up a 3rd and 3 for the Dragon.
Yeah, not quite enough there for Kevin Say. Now a 3rd and short. And I wonder if they're going to try to go back to Say here. Been pretty good for about 4 yards.
And I think this is a critical 3rd down for DC. A conversion here probably leads to 6 points. Having to settle for 3 really, I think, gives Charleston a breath of hope. Synergy fires left side, passes caught, first down conversion. And DC is just methodically continuing to move down the field. That's their 18th first down. Now 6 of 10 on 3rd down. Good for 60%, Robert.
Yeah, and the receiving core for DC is really not playing like a bunch of rookies as they are. Making veteran moves, you saw there as Jeff Gill able to get his toes down on the ground right next to the sideline. Make sure he came up with that catch.
Synergy handoff up the middle. Say gets 2 before he's met by Jack Brown and Jack Hoffman.
Yeah, and I think DC, giving the ball to Kevin Say here, get a little bit of positive yardage, but in reality, what they're doing is taking time off the clock.
And it looks like Gill is going to be the lone receiver to the right side. 8 men in the box for Charleston. Oh, and the pressure gets there immediately. Stopped for a loss. Joseph Sabolka with another tackle for loss.
Yeah, Joseph Sabolka just showing the power at the defensive tackle position. Sheds right off of his block and takes Shabazz Synergy down before he could even start to look down the field for his receivers.
DC spreading out the Charleston defense. Synergy fires back in the end zone. Pass is going to be intercepted. Synergy trying to take advantage, and the Charleston defense steps up and takes it away.
Yeah, and Jeff Banfield really was open in the back of the end zone, but a great play by Josh Reese. Climbs up that ladder, comes up with the interception, and again, DC in scoring range, but not able to come up with points.
Tackled in the end zone is going to be a touchback, and Charleston's going to get the ball at their own 20-yard line. And man, you just felt like DC was onto something with that drive, and just a fantastic play made by the Charleston Predators defense. And we'll see what TD Drew does with the opportunity. Twins to the left side. Handoff Swearingen right up the middle, and he's going to get 2.
And you know, while that was an unfortunate thing to happen for the DC Dragons. They got to keep their heads up. Their defense has been playing very well in this game, keeping Charleston at bay, really, other than that one 70-yard run by Keith Swearingen. So got to continue to play smart and see if they can come up with the ball.
Drew, feeling a little bit of pressure, moves around in the pocket, fires out to Swearingen, and is going to get a couple of yards, and Eric Gugger is there to make the tackle.
Yeah, tries to run the quick swing pass route to Swearingen, but the ball by Drew was a little thrown behind Keith Swearingen.
Swearingen offset to the left, twins to the left side. Taylor and Da Vinci to the right for Drew. In route caught. Ken McCarl got the first down. Gets to the Charleston 31-yard line.
Yeah, Charleston's offensive line doing a great job giving TD Drew the time he needs to go through his progressions, continue to look down the field, find an open receiver. Just as the pocket started to swallow him up, able to get the ball to Ken McCarl.
Da Vinci and Taylor, the tight ends to the right. Buchanan Simons to the top of your screen. And it's going to be an out route. Simons is going to catch it and get dragged out of bounds down at the 38-yard line.
Simons didn't have a whole lot of room to come up with that catch, able to drag his toes on the field before getting tackled at the sideline.
Stat check on TD Drew, 19 of 24. One touchdown, no interceptions here today, hovering around the 180-yard passing mark. Charleston comes out, 4 wide receiver spread. Quick drop, fires over the middle, and passes tipped away. That was Hendershot able to knock it down.
Yeah, I think TD Drew's seeing the exact same thing that I did. The outside linebacker for DC crashed inside on an edge blitz, so tried to quickly throw the ball to a slant route, but Clint Hendershot, playing it smart, steps up in front of that ball and bats it into the ground.
Yeah, that veteran presence, especially out there, coupled with the huge rookie, lot of rookies on defense, that veteran presence can do a lot for you. Swearingen breaks a tackle, and another one up the middle. He's got room to run. Nobody's going to catch him. Gugger's trying, but another big run for Keith Swearingen is going to give Charleston the lead.
And a big shout out on that touchdown run goes to Ken McCarro. Didn't block Eric Gugger down the field, but stayed next to him so that Gugger could not take a good angle and make the tackle. He ended up having to outrun McCarro and kind of try and hook around and beat Swearingen. Swearingen's speed ended up being too much for him, though.
Big 62-yard run as Swearingen now has 2 runs of 60-plus for a touchdown here in this ball game. And I think that DC, the crowd here in DC is not feeling that run. They're looking for they're chomping at the bit to get their offense back out there, Robert.
Yeah, that really sucked the air out of the crowd in DC, but they got to play it smart here. It's not over yet. They still have 5.5 minutes left to go, and their offense has moved the ball really productively. They just need to really cut out the untimely turnovers.
Yeah, it's the red zone. It seems like that's the area that they're struggling. They've figured out how to get down into the red zone. It's just the missed field goal, the turnovers. It just seems like when they get down there, they're almost taking the opportunity away from themselves. So 5.5 minutes to go, Robert. Like you said, we'll see if they can capitalize and play mistakeless football, get in the end zone and tie this one up. And great stat from Mark Lopez down in the stats truck. The 2 touchdowns are 2 of the 3 runs of that Swearingen has of 10-plus yards here today. So it seems like when Swearingen gets that explosive opportunity, he's taking it to the house. Thank you, Mark. K. Marion, the returner, gets this one down to the DC 25-yard line.
Yeah, now Shabazz Synergy's really got to come out and play focused. He's the only veteran on this offense for DC. He's got to lead this offense down the field.
Gill, the one lone receiver, Say up the middle, makes a shifty move and gets 5 yards.
Kevin Say has been running well for DC. able to get yards here and there as they've needed it. A good gain of 5, has already carried the ball 24 times in this game.
And Charleston's defense, Robert, you called it out at the beginning of the game, averaging, giving up 71 yards a game on the ground, and Swearingen creeping up around 80. So we'll see, I'm sorry, Say creeping up around 80. So we'll see how DC can continue to capitalize on that. Swing pass to the left for Say, spins upfield and gets to 5, just enough for the first down.
And a huge tackle there by Corey Minner. It seemed like Kevin Say thought he was going to get something going, but Minner lowers his shoulder and absolutely blew up the running back.
3 wide receivers to the right for Synergy. Play action fake. Pressure's coming. He gets rid of it, and the pressure causes an errant throw. Say was the intended target.
Yeah, I thought Dick Baker was going to be the one to come up with the sack, but really what he did was able to seal off the edge and force Synergy to step up more into the pocket, which set him up for what was almost a sack, and in the end knocked the ball off its track.
Now Synergy going to be alone in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers to the right. Charleston in a dime 3-2-6 defense. They bring pressure off the edge and it allows the slant route to run open through the middle, and a 9-yard gain. And DC's that much closer to a first down.
Yeah, smart throw by Synergy. Take what they could get to move the ball downfield. Now facing a 3rd and short, they can think about giving the ball to Kevin Say, or they can think about throwing it.
Charleston lining up in the box, 8 men in the box. Say gets the handoff and gets the first down. 5-yard gain out to the 49-yard line.
And I think that was a big play saving tackle there by free safety Josh Reese, able to come up and grab Say from the back to drag him into the ground. I really thought that Say was looking to break that one off.
Charleston has a pretty solid rushing defense throughout their history, and they show up there as Say was trying to take a stretch play to the right side, and they are able to get a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, Dick Baker, who's been pretty quiet for most of the game, able to break off that tackle and take Kevin Say down in the backfield, his 3rd tackle of the game, 1st tackle for loss.
Synergy under center, play action fake. Charleston brings pressure from the left side. Synergy fires out to the left side, pass is caught short of the first down.
And another tiptoe catch by Josh Gill. Really been the go-to receiver so far this game for the Dragons, already with his 9th reception for about 75 yards.
Synergy from week 1 till now has continued to diversify the load, peppering all kinds of different targets. It started out heavy with Kevin Say, but now Banfield and Gill and K. Marion are able to get their targets, as Say gets the swing pass to the right side, and he's going to lose a couple yards.
Yeah, Synergy put a little bit too much air under that ball. Kevin Say started to get ahead of it a little bit, so had to come back. And unfortunately for the offense, it causes a 4th down, and they're going to have to come out and punt this ball away with just under 3 minutes left to go.
Yeah, and you'd like to snap this one as early as possible and use the 2-minute warning as a free timeout. DC, you still have all 3, and still plenty of time left in this ballgame. Need a good defensive stand. Oh, nice coverage by the special unit. Dulake's going to get stopped at the Charleston 14-yard line.
Yeah, and you got to wonder, I'm sure Charleston's going to just give the ball to Keith Swearingen and let him do what he's done best in this game. 18 carries for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns. Been the workhorse for this offense.
And DC has to slow him down. They look committed to it. 8 men in the box. Charleston with twins to the right. Drew's going to hand off Swearingen. Met in the backfield. Nice play by the Dragons there.
Yeah, and DC, as you said, playing it smart, stacking the box and making sure they can stop Swearingen, but they got to be careful. They gave a huge pillow about 12 yards for receiver Ken McCarro, who lined up in the slot, and that could be a dangerous move for them if they're not careful.
Maybe trying to give TD Drew something to think about. And that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. Charleston with a 7-point lead and the ball, trying to milk this clock and get rid of DC's timeouts to walk away with the victory here on the road. DC with 3 timeouts and their defense playing good is trying to make a stop. We'll see if the defense on that first down is going to set up TD Drew to maybe take a shot. The Dragons still stacking the box this time with only 6 in there. Swearingen carry to the right side, breaks the tackle, and gets the yard back that he lost, sets up a 3rd and 10.
And Swearingen with a mean stiff arm on the veteran Clint Hendershot there, who got in the backfield, thought he was going to stop Swearingen in his tracks, but unable to do it. Luckily for him, DC able to come up and make the tackle. Still now a 3rd and long for Charleston, and this is a big-time play for this Dragons defense.
2-minute warning definitely helping. Charleston needs to convert here if they want to secure the victory. Drew, deep drop, time to throw, fires left side down the field, off the hands of his receiver. Ken McCarroll couldn't come away with it, and the Predators are going to have to punt it back to the Dragons.
Yeah, TD Drew tried to lead Ken McCarroll with that ball, but threw it just a little too deep. McCarroll tries to dive for the ball, really more to play defense, not able to come up with the reception though. And now Charleston's got a punt with 1:50 left to go, only up by 7.
Charleston punter in their own end zone. It's going to be fielded around midfield. Oh, brought the pressure the Dragons did, but couldn't get there. Marion fields it at midfield and gets dropped at her inner place.
Yeah, now at the 49-yard line, again, DC set up in really good field position, and you got to think that they're thinking about that last week's game. Ended up able to take it into overtime at the last minute, and here they are again with pretty much the same setup.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Robert. Stephen Mullinex, the offensive coordinator, and Shabazz Synergy led a great drive to tie the ball game up with hardly any time left. We'll see if they can replicate that here this week. Synergy hit as he throwed and forces a bad throw. Sabolka is there for the pressure, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
And Joseph Sabolka has really been dominating the interior offensive line of DC. Shabazz Synergy didn't take much of a drop there, and it really set Sabolka up to get pressure on him.
Quick glance at the tight end, Ziggy Hronik there. Shabazz Synergy alone in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers to his left side. Comeback route caught as Hronik is the intended target.
Yeah, we saw that play earlier, but Kay Marion ends up running into Hronik and not able to make the catch. That time gets the ball to the tight end and continues moving the ball.
All slants caught. Jeff Banfield down to the Charleston 26-yard line. 1:20 left in the ballgame. DC hurrying back up.
And DC's offense marching down the field once again. Let's see if they can keep the red zone turnovers from happening.
Hronik on the comeback. 8-yard gain. And DC's going to slow it down. They're going to huddle up, realizing that they've still got some time. They've got the timeouts. They do need the touchdown to tie this ball game up. So maybe they want to take their time and make sure they get the right play call in, Robert.
Yeah, and with just under a minute left to go, they really want to get the touchdown, obviously. But the other thing they don't want to do is give Keith Swearingen and TD Drew another chance with the ball.
Nickel formation for the Predators. Say gets to carry up the middle down to the 13-yard line and back to the no huddle. DC in the SFL red zone. Back to throw. Say to the left side. Swing pass caught, spins upfield, gains a yard. And now DC is going to take their 2nd timeout.
Yeah, and that ball was a little off of the throw to Kevin Say. Had to stumble to come up with the reception. And unfortunately for DC, because of that, wasn't able to get out of bounds after getting as much gain as he could. So they have to use the timeout now. With 27 seconds left to go, only 1 timeout for DC.
37 of 46 for Shabazz Synergy, good for 80% completion. 3 wide receivers spread. Synergy out route caught. Oh, they're going to say he didn't catch it. Jeff Banfield, they said he didn't have possession of the ball, and it's ruled incomplete.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was the right call there, but I don't know if we're going to get a chance to look at it now within the 2-minute warning, so the booth would have to be the ones to take a look at it. And it looks like they're going to keep letting them play.
DC, 4 wide receiver spread. Say is the lone back. Dime 3-2-6 for the Predators. Expecting a pass. Synergy throws over the middle. Pass is caught. Touchdown!
K. Marion comes up with a big-time reception in the end zone for the DC Dragons. Now down 1 point, pending the extra point. And K. Marion now with her third reception, or touchdown reception on the season.
And man, this DC team and these last-minute drives, Robert, I mean, that was something right there. I mean, you had good field position, but then just to follow through with it, come down, score the points to give yourself an opportunity to go into overtime and win this ball game.
Yeah, you got to think this defense for the Dragons has got to be fired up on the sideline. They're going to come out with about 20 seconds left in the ball game. And, Keith Swearingen has not needed 20 seconds to score the couple times he's found the end zone.
Extra point up and good. 8-play, 52-yard drive, capped off by the 9-yard touchdown pass. And Shabazz Synergy going completing the last 6 of his 7 attempts on that drive to get into the end zone. And Sector 6 is the official apparel provider of the Simulation Football League. Visit sector6apparel.com or visit our website at simulationfl.net for replica team jerseys and completely customized jackets, flags, t-shirts, and more that help each team stand out from their opponent. Get the gear the fans wear with Sector 6 and the SFL. Dulake, the returner, gets this one to the Charleston 30-yard line. 3 timeouts for the Predators, Robert. Do you think they take the shot, or do you think they want to go into overtime?
I think that they hand the ball to Keith Swearingen here. He's shown that he can break out these big runs so far in this game. You got to give him another chance.
Drew, deep shot, right side. Buchanan Simons is open. Breaks the tackle. This is going to be a 70-yard touchdown. Buchanan Simons. Oh, my, Robert. DC had the chance, and their crowd is not happy with it, and I'm sure the coaching staff isn't either, but Buchanan Simons, a huge play for the Predators offense.
Yeah, Buchanan Simons' speed ends up being too much for the corner, John DeSantis, to keep up with on the coverage. Comes up with the reception, and at that point, it's pretty much over for the Dragons. Simons takes a huge touchdown into the end zone. And, Steven, I hate to say it, but I think that's pretty much game.
Man, it will. It'll take something phenomenal. It's really going to come down to the returner. K. Marion has to make something happen. And, the probability of that happening is very low. But the way this game's going, Robert, I don't want to count anything out because I thought this was going to overtime. And Buchanan Simons just shocked the heck out of me, man. Fantastic game and fantastic throw by TD Drew there.
Absolutely. TD Drew came up with a big-time play right when his offense needed him to. Has played pretty spot on. His QBR at 127.1 on the game. Just a great game for TD Drew and the rest of the Charleston offense.
Moyer setting up to punt this one away. Deep kick, got a little extra leg on it, making K. Marion's job that much harder. Marion up the middle, stopped and dropped at 21-yard line. 4 seconds for this Dragons offense.
Yeah, and you got to think we're just going to see a deep shot down the field here by DC. 4 seconds left to go. They really don't have the time to try anything else.
It will be a Hail Mary formation. It's Charleston's in the dime 3-2-6 waiting for the throw. Synergy takes the shot left side. Pass is caught down the sideline. Oh, no time remaining. A chance there, but just short. And a heck of a ball game. Both of these teams played their hearts out. DC falls short. Charleston with a phenomenal play to end the ball game. And Robert, what a game here.
Absolutely. And as you said, Josh Gill, the chance to make that last reception, comes up with a huge catch, but doesn't quite have the speed to beat out the defense of Charleston. And just another heartbreaker for this DC Dragons team that's been through so much already this season.
Man, but I tell you what, you can feel the growth. You watch these games, and Robert, you and I have had the luxury of calling three games so far, and from week 1 to now, different team. They look fantastic. They're growing every week, and they're becoming a really exciting team to watch. I look forward to calling these games whenever I get the opportunity. And DC is showing out every week. They're putting on a show, and it's been an honor so far to get on these Jermaine Smith and Stephen Molyneux games, man.
Absolutely. And on the other side of the ball, Buchanan Simons has been promoting himself for MVP around the league and the league's Discord, and it came up with the biggest play of the game. 70-yard touchdown bomb by TD Drew to Buchanan Simons into the end zone.
And that's one that he's going to remember. The Predators team will remember. I think DC's going to remember. Maybe that's something to look for the next time these two teams face off. But yeah, Buchanan Simons spoiling the opportunity for the Dragons to win a game here at home. Looking at the stat sheet again. Big thanks to Greg Soto and Mark Lopez for being here with us today. Sabaz Synergy, 40 of 49. On the other side of the ball, TD Drew, 20 of 27, 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interception. Phenomenal game. I know Charleston was excited to have him back after being injured last week. And today's player of the game, Robert Keith Swearingen, 20 attempts, 163 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Go ahead and recap that one for us.
Well earned by Keith Swearingen. Got those 2 long touchdowns that really are the deciding factor in this game for Charleston.
From DC, we are the Simulation Football League. I'm Stephen Hacker. He's Robert Garrett Jr. Back at SFL headquarters, Commissioner Cameron Irvine. Stay tuned as we got more SFL action coming up. We'll see you next week.